Hi everyone, I'm Edie, the Cross College Tutor Practitioner, and I'm here today to talk to you about International Women's Day. And I have the pleasure of introducing some fantastic speakers who are going to be talking to you about everything from their career journeys to women in the UK economy. So each year there's a different campaign theme for International Women's Day, and this year it is to inspire inclusion. So if you are interested to find out a little bit more information, you can go onto their website, and hopefully from there you'll be able to find out what the definition is and what it means to inspire inclusion. Later on, you're going to be having a look at making a few pledges linked to this, but to start with, I've got some talks to show you.
Hi everyone, my name's Lucy and I'm one of the assistant principals on the senior team here at Truro and Penwith College. Happy International Women's Day. My theme when talking to you as part of today is overcoming adversity. And that's because when I was 16 years old and I was at school, I found myself unable to live at home anymore due to my parents' separation and also due to my dad's alcoholism. That meant that the next few months, years in fact, were really challenging for me. So I found myself going off to my GCSEs at Mount Space School whilst relying on people that weren't my family, living in different places whilst taking my GCSEs and then over the next couple of years as a Penwith College student. At that time, I kind of got through it by engaging in the support that I could at the college. I got academic support because I had to retake my GCSE maths because I didn't quite get the grade that I knew I would need because I wanted to be a teacher. And I also got personal and pastoral support, including financial support because I had to work lots of jobs alongside my studies in order to make ends meet, and also some mental health support and support from the safeguarding team. It was a really difficult time for me, but with the right support in place, I was able to overcome it. And I went on to university and then I gained employment at Penwith College itself. I was really proud of this because I'd become a member of the staff at the college that I studied at myself during that really difficult time. And now that I'm on the senior team at the college, I have direct responsibility for that campus. So I'm head of Penwith College, of the college that I was attending during that challenging time for me. So my message to you is that with a positive attitude, hard work and engaging in the support around you, you really can do anything you want to. And I'd ask you all to remember that if we support each other, we can help anybody to get to where they want to be. And supporting and uplifting each other as women is really, really key every day, and particularly today as part of International Women's Day. So thank you for listening to my story and happy International Women's Day to you all.
Hello, my name is Hayley McKinstry. I'm one of the assistant principals here at Truro and Penwith College, and I'm the Director of Business Partnerships and Apprenticeships. As we celebrate International Women's Day, we embark on a journey of reflection, appreciation and advocacy. This day stands as a beacon of empowerment, reminding us of the incredible contributions that women make to society and the ongoing struggle for gender equality worldwide. I just wanted to share a little bit about my own journey, and this started when I left school and embarked on a career journey to be a beauty therapist. I was really passionate about everything to do with the industry and wanted to support people to be the best that they could be. I worked in the industry and became a young businesswoman, owning my own high street salon at the age of 19, and that became really successful. I was then approached by my tutors from college who asked me if I would be interested in teaching beauty therapy to adult learners. This would enable me to share my passion with them. I went back to college and completed my certificate in education, as well as assessing and quality assurance qualifications too. I became a really successful lecturer and therapist and was asked to become a world skills judge for beauty therapy. The relationships that I created through this network not only enabled me to judge national competitions, but also to write qualifications for awarding bodies, influence curriculum, moderate exams and projects nationally. Throughout my judging, I also met an employee from Truro and Penwith College who asked me to apply for a role as a deputy team leader in 2009. I was successful with this role and I moved from Western-super-Mare College to Cornwall, and after a few months I became the programme team leader for hairdressing and beauty therapy. From this we introduced hospitality and created excellent partnerships with people like Rick Stein and Paul Ainsworth, with my mantra, making people the best that they can be. In 2019, I became the quality lead for the college, and in 2021, I applied for an assistant principal role at the college for the Director of Apprenticeships and Partnerships, which I am today. This role enables me to draw on the skills that I have built over my entire career, working with businesses to identify skills gaps, develop curriculum to provide training and upskill and retrain students of all ages. It also allows me to work with key stakeholders like the Chamber of Commerce and Cornwall Council to ensure that we are well positioned to support any adults that need to retrain or upskill. From this, I'd like you to reflect on your own journeys and always believe in yourself and always use the mantra of be the best that you can be.
Hello, my name is Emily Myatt and I'm one of the Associate Directors at Truro and Penwith College, and I'm also Dean of the University Centre. Today I just wanted to talk to you a little bit about my experiences as a woman in education and also as a woman in science. I started my journey as a student at Truro and Penwith College. I really enjoyed my time here, and this is where I met my first inspirational woman. My tutor at the time gave me the encouragement and the support that I needed to apply for a degree in biology. I think looking back, she probably understood me better than I understood myself at that point. So I was lucky enough to secure a place at the University of Stirling to study biology, and I really loved every moment of it. She was completely right to guide me in that direction. When I finished my qualification, I was then confident enough to apply for a master's degree at the University of Bath in cell biology, and later went on to complete my PhD in regenerative medicine, also in Bath. Whilst I was studying for my PhD, I came to realise that the elements of my studies that I enjoyed most was where I was involved in teaching. So I do demonstrating in the lab and some lecturing, and I just really enjoyed the interaction with the students. So I started to think perhaps a career in education might be the right one for me to go for. So I signed up for a PGCE, and at that point you have to do some observations in the classroom to see whether it's right for you. So I booked my observation, I went into the classroom, walked out again, cancelled my application for the PGCE and just realised that wasn't what I wanted to do. It wasn't what I wanted at that moment in time. So I finished my PhD, and on the day that I completed my Viva, I saw an advert for a teaching job at Truro and Penwith College. And I applied, not thinking that I would get any further than the interview stage. But they took me on, they had faith in me, and I couldn't have asked for more from them during that time. This is where I met my second inspirational group of women. I was really not sure what I was doing, especially not in those first few weeks. But they took me under their wing. They looked after me, they provided me resources, they taught me things, they listened to me when I was struggling and sometimes couldn't manage. And they had nothing to gain from all of this, nothing at all. They did it because they were helping. And that really inspired me to go further. They inspired me as teachers and they inspired me as people. I went on to progress to become a deputy team leader in that area. And actually I then became the line manager for a lot of those people who had helped me along the way. I was worried that this could cause a few problems, but actually they were just as supportive of me as their line manager as they had been as me as a teacher. They, again, supported everything that I did, helped me, guided me, and were just so supportive. If I became a good teacher and a good leader during that time, it was because of that group of women. Also in my time in the science department, I met another person who helped me understand my expectations of working with men in the education sector and in general. This person was actually a man, surprisingly, or perhaps not surprisingly at all when I think about it. He gave me an exemplar of what working with men should be like and what the working relationship between men and women should be like. He shone a light on the examples from the past where I might have had lower expectations of my working relationships with men. When I look back, for example, I can think of a time when I was exerting my authority in a particular moment where I was being independent and decisive. And one of the people who was there in the group said, "Oh, isn't she feisty?" Now, having had this fantastic exemplar of what it should look like when men and women work together in the correct way, I realised that actually that comment, it wasn't so much sexist, but I wondered if the same thing would happen if it was a man who was exerting their authority, and I decided it probably wouldn't. Now, many of these things are what I call microaggressions. Nobody meant to be offensive, and nobody meant to be sexist. And I think that a lot of the time in the workplace, that's actually what women see. Nothing specific, nothing discriminatory, but just a moment where you realise that you're perhaps being undermined or not being treated equally. But I have faith, and the reason I have faith is because of that person that I worked with, that man who I worked with, who showed me what it should be like, which made me a stronger person, it made me more independent, and eventually made me confident enough to apply for the job as Dean of the University Centre. And I really think that's what it comes back to. Actually, you can't just educate and empower women, you have to educate and empower men and boys so that they understand what that relationship between men and women should look like in the workplace. So that's my reflections, and hopefully you will recognise both of those characters in your careers, the supportive women and the men who understand what they have to do to enable women as well. Thank you.
So happy International Women's Day. And the second topic I want to talk to you about is women and the UK economy. If you wish to look up this report, it's on the House of Commons Library, and it came out on the 3rd of March 2023. And I'll see if we can get a link put into this so you can actually have a look at it. Now, for those of you that would like to know a little bit more around women and the economy, the reason why this is useful is it does give you real data insight of what is actually going on in the economy. And 15.6 million women were employed last year. All right, and that was actually an increase of 108,000 more than the year before. So you can actually see that the number of women that are now working and have career opportunities has significantly increased, and that's really brilliant to hear. And most women actually employed in 3 different fields: health and social work, wholesale and retail, and education. So they are the big feeders. But I want to be really clear, I think it's really important that women continue to break stereotypes. And actually, if you get an opportunity and you want to be an engineer, a woman working in tech, women working in construction, and you really go with the career of whatever you really want to do, and know that the world is your oyster and you really can do anything that you want to do. And we've got some brilliant case study examples of women out there that are doing that right now. The other key thing that's commonly talked about is the gender pay gap. And the way that's often referred to in this report is what they call the median hourly pay rate. And then for full-time employees, there is a current gap for women of 8.3% against their male counterparts. For part-time employment, that's actually looking a lot better for women. That's generally because there is a lot more women in part-time employment. And so that's actually a positive effect of 2.8%. And for all employees, the gap is 14.9%. So you can actually see we still have a long way to go for women to be able to get, you know, kind of that pay gap analysis to be reduced. And how can we actually do that? Well, there are a number of different ways that we can do that. It really is about increasing opportunities for women, ensure having flexible working for women so that actually they can do their childcare or work in other roles around what they're doing if they've got caring responsibilities, for example. So it's really important that is really considered as part of an employer's makeup in terms of their workforce. But also equally, we really look to our male counterparts to raise women up, all right, and to give them promotional opportunities, to give them opportunities to develop their skills in terms of CPD, delegation of tasks so they grow as individuals. And I really do feel it's a very inclusive responsibility for all of us to try and close that gender pay gap. But there are some real good signs of success that we're starting to see that in previous years that we've not. And a really good example is the government set a target to try and increase the number of women that are now on the FTSE board membership. And I'm pleased to say that has now met target and is now at 26%. So more than ever before, we're now seeing women in senior leadership roles. And a really good example is right here in Truro and Penwith College, where the directors of the college, in actual fact, are all female. And I can say in the whole of my career, I've never worked with an all-female team at that one level and here, and it really has been a brilliant experience. And I'm thrilled to be working with my colleagues and counterparts who are all doing an amazing job at leading the college. But of course, we couldn't do it without our other male and female colleagues that work across the college in really important roles to be able to support you know, students and staff that work here. So it's as a collective we come together to look at these issues and really consider how we can raise women up, as I've said before. So just know the reason why we still have Women's International Day is to keep in our minds why we actually still need to consider these issues and maybe to just draw attention to them and create awareness. And I hope that you will consider that as part of today.
So hopefully you're feeling inspired by the talks that you've just watched, and we're going to be having a look at making pledges now, linking to the theme of inspiring inclusion. So you should have a link to a Microsoft form where you can put your pledges in there, and you can work in small groups or pairs or just by yourself if that's something that you'd like to do. You can also use this form to ask me any questions that you might have about International Women's Day, and I can get in touch via email to answer any of those for you. So that's it from me. Thank you for watching, and I hope you all have a great tutor. Happy International Women's Day.